Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Smart Minds, Good Times. Today, I have a very special guest. Mal, say what's up.
Yeah, what's good? It's your boy Mal, a.k.a. Mal. You cooking? We in here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for coming on, bro. You're
appreciate you having me, man.
very first guest in our new studio, so it's a pleasure having you on.
Oh, for sure. This is nice, for real.
Appreciate that. So how's your day going, bro?
It's going, man. Just got off work, came straight here, for real. So.
Oh, shit. What you working?
So I work at a bank during the day. Kind of like shifted my focus a little bit from music to kind of help creatives learn more about like leveraging business credit and stuff like that. But we'll get into that deeper in the interview, I guess.
I'll bring that up later then.
For sure.
So I saw I've watched the other interviews you did. Mm-hmm. So you grew up. I don't want to ask you a lot of the questions that I saw there because I don't want to be too repetitive.
Got you.
Some people don't know who you are. It's new audience, so some questions I will ask. But
for sure.
So you grew up in King and Queen County, right?
Yes, sir. KQ. So yeah. So King and Queen is like going towards Williamsburg. If you're on the interstate, you'll see exit 220 for West Point. So like West Point is like King William, New Kent area, like, you know what I'm saying? But King and Queen is where I'm from.
Born and raised there?
Well, technically I was born in Richmond because I was born in MCV, but yeah, raised in King and Queen, and then we moved to Richmond in like 2002.
Okay, what was it like growing up in New Kent area?
I mean, I loved it for real. Like, it's something different about just living in the country and just having the accessibility of being able to like go to urban areas when you want, but then come home and be secluded and just have like a front and backyard and a crib. You know what I'm saying?
Like actual space, right?
Exactly. Like, so.
How far were you like from like all the stores and everything?
So I mean, the town is only like 10 minutes away for real, and then like Richmond, Newport News, like everything is 45 minutes. So like.
Okay, yeah. So like. Yeah, everything. Like I guess the major cities are a little far. What's it called? What school did you go to out there?
I went to elementary school out there, but like in second grade I moved to Richmond. And I was living on the north side. So I went to Linwood Holden Elementary, then ended up moving to Chester in middle school, going to Providence Middle. And after that, we moved again deeper into Chester, and then I went to LC Bird. I graduated from Bird.
Oh, okay. What did you like better, New Kent area or Richmond area?
I mean,
or Chester area, you could say.
I'm a country boy at heart, for real. So it's just like I always love being in the country, like, you know what I'm saying? But I do have an appreciation for being in the city, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain energy, like, living in an urban area that you don't get living out there. But I could definitely see myself when I get older, like, moving back and having, like, some land and a crib and just being like, fuck all y'all. Like, I'll pop out when I want to pop out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I'd be able to live in the actual city. It's just too much traffic, too much movement going on.
Yeah, for real. And like, you don't have any privacy at all. Like, your neighbors are right on top of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool. Like I said, for networking and being in this type of industry, is like, it's good to be in the mix and be in the city, you know what I'm saying, and be able to like pull up on, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
because everything's just so nearby, and like, you don't know who you'll run to it either.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever do any hunting out there?
No, I did not do any hunting. That wasn't really my thing. My boy Lico, though, he had a whole hunting trail. He had a whole hunting trail behind the crib, though. We like, when we were younger, we used to hop the fence and like go back there and explore and shit.
Also, y'all like childhood friends.
Day one, for real.
Oh shit,
like,
hell yeah. What's some crazy shit that happened in your childhood that you won't forget?
Some crazy shit that happened in my childhood.
Or something you just won't forget. It don't even have to be crazy. Just some shit that you won't forget.
Man, I don't know. It's just a lot, for real. Like, I don't know. Lico could probably recollect some of this shit a little bit better than I can, for real. I kind of put a few blocks up. Some of that stuff I don't even remember no more. But let's see. What's something funny like you can remember from back in the day, bro?
What, talk about the church yard? The bricks?
You said a church?
Oh, you talk about what I bust my head over. All right, so look. All right, so look. So shout out to my boy. Come get in the camera real quick, Lico. Real quick, one time for the one time. This is my dog. This is the camera right. You know what I'm saying? You get duck down.
Yeah, you're the shot.
I got a duck post.
You already know. But yeah, this is my day one for real. Like, we didn't been through a lot together. But
y'all gonna see Lico on here soon?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely next up. But so like I'm a church boy. I grew up in church, like, you know what I'm saying? So our church, we used to have second services a lot. So like in between first and second service, like me and this nigga would just do dumbass shit. So this nigga is a daredevil. So he's like always been if we're the Hardy Boys, right? Like that's Jeff and I'm Matt. You know what I'm saying? So but I always wanted it, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, the handicap ramps that they have.
Yeah.
So we're
Where's
like
this going?
yeah, it's crazy. So we trying to be daredevils.
Uh-huh.
So we're hopping the guardrail of the handicap.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, you just had to be there. Anyway, he does it flawlessly. You know what I'm saying? Athletic nigga. You know what I'm saying? God bless him. Me. Yo, I wish y'all could see his fucking reaction. He's crying, laughing. My ass, I go to jump over the rail and like get caught up and fucking fall backwards, bust my head on the concrete, and like,
shit.
yeah, that was very embarrassing. And then I had to take the walk of shame through the church to the back to like go get like a, you know, the first aid kit and everything.
Uh-huh.
So I'm walking through the congregation and everybody is seeing like,
shit.
what the fuck did this kid just do to himself? Like, but yeah, it was crazy. That was, yeah. See, he recollects all that stuff better than me. I forget it. I you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to think about it.
You want to forget it.
Exactly.
Oh shit.
Exactly.
Oh shit, hold on, my bad.
Damn. Look, I'm just fucking up.
You good. There's like a little hook on there.
Gotcha.
That's the first time this happens.
He's never gonna invite me back.
Damn. Now, so what about like high school, like your teenage years? What was it like? What was like type of person were you? Were you like hobbies or like were you the very smart kid, the class clown? What type of person were you?
I was the band geek, but I was like the cool band geek.
Yeah.
You know, I had the studio in my crib. So basically, little backstory. So like I said, we first moved to Richmond in 2002, and so 2915 is if you're familiar with Richmond, you know Northside Richmond, where the BP gas station is. Right behind that is some brick apartments called Gate Oaks Apartments.
You said that was like your apartment number, right?
Yeah, 2915. So my stepdad, which really shout out to him, he's like the founder of 2915 for real. But he we had a studio in our apartment whole time. So like we always had artists in and out. We're coming, so like music and like this type of stuff has always been around. But he had kind of fell back from it, you know, for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure just the stresses of like having a family and trying to like, you know, but the equipment was always there. So by the time I got into like my later years of middle school or early high school, I was like, well, shit, it's here. So I might as well try to like learn how to use it. You know what I'm saying? So I always had artists from my school and everything coming through. And like, that's kind of where I learned the art of like recording people and making beats and producing songs and like, you know what I'm saying, just by repetition and doing it in school, as well as like in middle school I was in band all the way through high school. So like I always been like musically inclined.
And you told me actually I saw in one of your interviews you also played like instruments in church too, right?
Yeah. So I play I started off playing drums in the church, and then I ended up moving to keys and organ and everything. So I just picked up instruments by ear, but I learned how to play trumpet in band, like actually, like, you know what I'm saying?
How often were people like telling you like, yo, let me pull up after school and record something?
A lot for real. But like also during that period of time too is where I had to learn my hustle for real, because just like everybody wanted to come record, but it's like, do you have bread? You got money? Because I'm not ready to just be sitting here recording you for free. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? But like throughout high school, I never worked a real job for real. Like it was always just me either running sessions or like I was getting paid as a musician from the churches. So like, I always been a hustler for real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They paid you in church too?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought like do pastors get paid too?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought that shit was like nonprofit.
Well, churches are nonprofits, but like even as a 501c3 like nonprofit, like money comes in, so they have to pay the people that work for the nonprofit. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And like I guess to go a little bit into it, but not too deep, the money that comes in, they have to be able to show that they did something with it. So they gotta, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not necessarily payment. Sometimes they call it a stipend, or you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they.
What about when you graduated? Did you know you wanted to pursue? At that point, you already knew you wanted to pursue music, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was just figuring out how to go about it, because all of the music schools were like extremely expensive, like Full Sail, like, and like. My family didn't have to, you know, drop that amount on tuition, so I just went the community college route.
Oh, what you major
in? It started off, so in my last year, actually not my junior year of high school, I went to the tech center for Cisco computer technology. So like I was doing like computer science, like routers and all that type of stuff.
In front of Bird, right?
Yeah.
I went there for electrical. So
okay, word.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. But yeah, so I did that my junior year. My senior year, I graduated I had an advanced diploma, but I was literally going to school. I was getting out early release every day. So like one day I get off at 12, the other day I get out at like 10 a.m. because like I took like college credits and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I went to community college for the computer thing, and then around that time, was when I came in contact with like land and stuff like that, and then I was trying to do the college thing and follow the producer thing, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to go to school for real. This is like a waste of time.
Was that a hard choice to make, or it was just like a fuck it type of thing?
It was easy for me. Like it definitely was a lot of backlash from my parents, though. You know what I'm saying? They're like, get your degree. Which hindsight 2020, like if I could go back and do it again, I probably would just thug it out and just have gotten it and just
How far in were you into when you like left?
Like a year.
Oh, so you still had like a good 3 years left, right?
No, for for an associate's degree, like 1 more year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm ADD as fuck. And
you always gotta be doing something, right?
Yeah, well, it's not even that. Like my time, like doing like figuring out how to be efficient with my time was like the thing. And it's just like I wanted to like make beats and like do all these other things, and then like the more harder I'm going on this area, then other things are getting neglected. So that was really my thing at that point in time. I hadn't really mastered the art of like managing my time to the best of my ability. So for me, it was either like tunnel focus on one or the other, and I was just like, this is what I'd rather do. This is the opportunity that I have, so why not just do
Did you ever work a job like right after high school, or you just went straight to college?
Yeah. Right after high school, I worked for Walmart.
Okay.
For probably like a few months for real, and then I was like, fuck that shit. And then I worked for a hotel. I actually still work for that hotel, like just part-time, because the discounts are crazy. Like I travel so much, so like I can go to Atlanta and get a hotel room for like $35 a night in like the middle of Atlanta, nice ass hotel room. You know what I'm saying?
Is it like a Marriott type thing?
So I work for Choice Hotels. So basically, yeah, if you ever out and about and traveling or whatever, you need a hotel discount, holla at me. I got you.
Oh, really?
Not y'all.
Yeah, just I appreciate that.
For sure. But yeah, so that's another thing too. Like all the jobs that I tried to like get into, I tried to figure out a way to make it work for me. So like I know in the industry, like niggas always need a hotel plug. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, boom, I'm gonna try to get this and like work this, so when I go to travel, I can get cheap rooms. And then if I meet somebody and they're like, oh, oh, you gotta, you know what I mean? Like to create value in other areas. So
that's true. And then it's like you can even charge a little bit on top too, and it'll still be cheaper, right?
Yeah. I could, but I didn't. But that was a great idea. You know what? I might steal that.
Yeah, go for it. Shit, add a couple $25 and you know? Yeah.
Nah, for real.
But like, what's it called? Like, so like, so you were when you first like found your passion for music, you were like what, 15 years old, 14 years old?
Nah, it was definitely younger than that, for real. Like, probably how old are you when you're in like fifth grade?
Fifth grade. Oh shit. Probably like 9, 10.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
9,
I always been like music kind of running my family, for real. Like, my mom is a singer. Her father, which I'm actually named after. My first name is really Micah Vincent, so his name was Vincent Wormley.
Okay.
But he was a musician and like a church, like he directed choirs in the church and like all that other stuff. So like music has always kind of like ran in my blood, for real. It's just it manifesting into me actually being in the studio and like doing it. That kind of came later. Like I said, like towards like 8th grade year into like high school and all that.
How hard was it like picking up on like all the like I know like when you're engineering and producing, there's a bunch of like different buttons on the board and everything. Was that like Chinese at the time?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like if you don't know what it does, then, but also too, like I really stress the importance of like experimentation. Just try something. Like you won't know what it does until you experiment with it. So
right at the time, maybe like it's not like as the technology isn't as good as today, where it was a lot accessible. It was more like very like complex hardware, or
well, during that time, so this is like 2009, 2010. So like the technology was at a pretty good place. Like, I mean, we had pretty good equipment. Like my stepdad was a gear junkie, so he had like, you know, top of the line stuff. And he was able to show me how to use some of it as well. So I didn't like have to like totally learn everything on my own. You know what I'm saying? He definitely walked me through like the basics, I would say, and then from there I kind of like just through experimentation and YouTube University obviously too, just kind of learned and built my own sound through like the things that I knew and was learning from experimentation. So.
Yeah, and it's like you do everything. You're like a Travis Scott or like a Pharrell, because you do the engineering, the producing, and you're an actual artist as well. Yeah. When you wanted to like pursue music, were you doing all three? Like you knew you wanted to be all three, or were you trying to focus on one certain one? Or
that's like always a weird question. Like I never really went into it like this is what I want to be. I'm more so of a person where like whatever fits the need at the moment, I'm that. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? So being able to be flexible and like be able to fit in multiple different positions, and like that's kind of like how I operate, because I always wanted to be a mogul and someone that could like, even if I didn't have to operate in every position, knew enough about each position to where I could tell someone how I wanted it done.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is like the hardest one to really like pick up on? Because I know like if you're an artist, it's more like a inner creativity, or producing is more like technical, and engineering is like, that's like crazy shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know this is probably not the answer that you want, but I feel like they're all just as difficult as each other. It just depends on your interests, what you want to do, and what you're passionate about learning how to do. You feel me? So like for some artists, they get in and start wanting to be recording artists. A lot of times, like even in me kind of like falling back from engineering a little bit, I'm pushing artists to learn how to engineer themselves. You know what I'm saying? To unlock that new level of creativity. And like once you get by yourself and you're able to create on that level, it's like you can do so much more. But as an artist, like I feel like every artist needs to know how to engineer or record themselves, at least. Not necessarily say you got to know how to mix, but have an understanding of it, and vice versa. Like producers like should know how to record or maybe songwrite a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So they can give their idea, or if they make a beat and they hear something, they can communicate that to the artist. Like it's always important to be kind of well versed in like everything,
instead of like just closing yourself into that one thing, right?
Yeah.
What's like something most people don't know about producing and engineering?
Something people don't know about producing.
I mean, I guess other producers and engineers would know, but something like the outside world won't really know.
I guess one thing would be, I guess some people think artists just go in the booth and like record their whole verse, like, without stopping or whatever. That's not how it goes. Generally, artists like punch in bar for bar. So like record one bar, stop, go back in, record, just so they can get a cleaner take. Damn, my boy is like, don't give the sauce away. Nah, it's free game. But yeah, so that's one thing. Another thing people probably don't know is that like your favorite artist, I don't want to say all the time, but probably a solid 80% of the time probably isn't writing the song that you're hearing on the radio or on their album. They have songwriters that are there to basically like either come up with an initial idea or to like basically make a whole song for the artist, and then they just go in with their voice and, do it. And that's like, I guess it kind of really started coming to light when I guess everyone saw that Drake was doing it and like was shunning it for real. But like the industry has been that way.
But that's that's all the big artists. Cause I forgot who's one of the artists that really does it. I think I may be wrong, but Taylor Swift does that a lot, like with a bunch of all her songs, I think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Taylor Swift has writers, but Taylor Swift is also a writer. Like, then that's one thing I respect about certain artists. Like, I feel like it's okay to have songwriters work on your stuff, but like, you get the respect when you actually can write your own music.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Like Kendrick or J. Cole?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, no, not even that. I mean, Kendrick and J. Cole write all their stuff. I'm talking about an artist like...
Or Eminem.
Well, Eminem definitely is writing all his stuff. Or he might like... The closest thing to songwriting he probably will do is like get another artist to do a hook for him or something like that if it's like a big record that he wants, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about like an artist that like will take a reference for a song and then like add their own sauce to it and put it out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like a sample?
Really it's called a reference track. So like as a song, so I'm a songwriter as well. Basically as a songwriter, what you do is you make like an idea version of the song, right? So like you might do a hook that you envision or hear on the beat for the other artist to do, and that'll be the reference. Then you'll send that reference off to like an A&R or someone on that artist team, and then from there, if the artist likes it, he'll just re-record what you did, maybe add his own sauce to it or deliver it his own way. But that's generally how songwriting works for real.
I saw you talk about that on one of the interviews you did. You did it for like a pretty big artist.
Trey Songz.
Trey Songz. Was it that one song that went #1?
Yeah, on Billboard. Yep.
Sleepless Nights, right?
Yep.
So, bro, like, what was that feeling like? Did you see that coming, or was it just like a unexpected thing?
Nah, I did not see that coming at all. So I'll give a brief like synopsis on how that even came together. So, Defiant Studios, that's where, I was working at. With shout out to all Defiant, everybody that came through Defiant, all of the, the staff, interns, shout out everybody. So I was working at Defiant. It was a crazy day. I remember during that period of time, this was still the pandemic, but I was putting in like 10, 12-hour days. So that day I had already had like, I'm pretty sure I had like a 10 or a 12-hour day that day. And it was like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. I was getting ready to leave, and Gabe, who was the chief engineer there at the time before I took the position, he basically was like, you should hang around. I got like Trap Ties Kai, Kari 1K, they're pulling up tonight, so just in case. Like, and I'm like, I was tired as fuck, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just stay. It might be an opportunity or whatever. And lo and behold, Moo is like Trey Songz like day one like friend or whatever. And I think probably does something with management at some level. But anyway, I ran into Moo because Moo was managing Kari 1K at the time. But, Pusha T had the Airwave Music Group label and stuff. He was the first artist. So I ran into Moo, and that day, like, I just had hella cash on me. Like, I just had like a wad of bread. And there was this dude in the lobby, and he was just talking Moo's head off. I could tell he was like clearly drunk, like inebriated.
Oh shit.
So and I could kind of tell like Moo was probably trying to get away from dude because it was kind of annoying. So I just pulled up. I'm like, look, I got some bread. Come to the A room. I got some songs I want you to hear. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So and like I said, I always say this whenever I talk about this story. Moo a real nigga, bro. He ain't even take my bread. Went to the A room. I played him like a couple of records. Really, these are just songs that I had. Not even necessarily to say like they were songs I was trying to shop. I was just trying to play him some records and just see what he thought. Or, you know what I'm saying? And Sleepless Nights ended up being one of them. So got his contact. He called me maybe like a week or two later, and he was like, remember that Afrobeat record you played me? Send me that. I'm going to get Trey to record it. And I was like, oh, shit. Sent him the record probably like 2 or 3 that day. Got a text like 12 that night. The record had been recorded. It was going on the album. And then maybe like 2 or 3 weeks later, I found out that davido had hopped on the record. So that was like big feature. Yeah. So that whole situation, like I couldn't have ordained that at all. That was really God. For real.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything. You know what I'm saying?
What if you did have left?
Yeah, then that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
It's just everything in this industry is really about being at the right place in the right time, and then being able to capitalize off of an opportunity or create an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, not every opportunity is just gonna be like, hey, I'm an opportunity, I'm right here. Sometimes you gotta put yourself in position to really be able to either create a situation or recognize a situation and take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like another of the bigger artists you have worked with is Black Youngsta. Davido was on that song, like you said. King Push, Lil Gotit. And this one I saw Dave East and Shorty, right?
Yeah. So I recorded Shorty while I was at Defiant, and me and Lamb produced a song for him. I'm not sure if it's ever gonna come out, but we have it though. Dave East, I did Traumatone and me worked on some beats, and Dave East and one of his artists from New York hopped on that one recently, probably like in the last couple months. Shout out to Easy Money. I think that's the artist name, Easy Money. But yeah.
But Shorty, I like Shorty. I found out about him through Shoreline Mafia.
Okay, yeah.
No. I like his music. Yeah. It was like, what's that feeling like when you record a song with one of the artists and you don't know if it's ever gonna come out or not? Is it like a
I just try not to think about it, for real.
Yeah, because in reality, that song, if it does come out, it's like it could be a big thing for you as well.
Yeah, but sometimes even this is no shade on the Trey record, but I thought that record was gonna go up even more than it did, for real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's always a hit and miss, for real. I feel like any record that gets put out is a furtherance of like the brand and like people hearing the music, but the industry can get real tricky, like especially in those negotiations sometimes of like putting records out and like doing certain things. Like it can be very can be very cutthroat.
Especially like working with bigger artists, there's a lot more like legal work and
Mhm.
like different things to like worry about. I don't know that, like, because you have to deal with labels and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Which definitely shout out to my lawyer, Alex Mejias from right here in Richmond, for real. If y'all ever need entertainment lawyer, whatever, James River Law Firm, tap in with him. Best in the city for sure.
Because right, you got to make sure like because I think I forgot who was Stateside Rocky came on and he told me like when he was putting out songs, he had to do all the legal work with the producers he had on and everything. It's like you got to make sure you have like you get like your cut or whatever from the streams and all that, right?
Yeah, all that, bro. And like that's, I want to like kind of make light of this as well. Like a lot of artists, especially in this city, is not handling business. Like they not handling business. They're not taking care of their producers. They're not even really making sure their songs is registered, and like to their detriment, really. You know what I'm saying? Because it's money out there to be made off of these streams that you're getting. One, two, a lot of times these rappers aren't even paying their producers for real, like talking about. So it's just like you're gonna put their beat out and then not even have the shit registered properly so that y'all could both eat on the back end. Like it's definitely, if you don't know about registering your music, like find out and like get your stuff properly done before you're just putting these producers beats out without getting anything, you know what I'm saying, straight. Because I'm the type of person for real where when I start speaking out or saying stuff to artists about this type of shit, when it's time to, then I'm the bad guy or I'm doing too much. When in reality, like I've been in the industry, so I know how this shit works. Like this is how it's supposed to go. You're just not handling your business right, and then that can really hold a lot of things back and ruin a lot of relationships. I'll say that much. So get your business right. If you don't know, hit me up. I'll educate you. But make sure you're getting your business right when it comes to doing these records and like putting these songs out. Pay your producers, you know what I'm saying? Pay your engineers, pay them well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do good business for real.
Right. If people want to talk to you, they can consult you on your website, right?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was on the website. I saw people can book like an hour to talk to you and everything like that.
Yep.
It's like, it's like one thing I wanted to bring up is like, how like you said like, let's just say like Trey Songz record, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people listen to the song, but it's hard. Do you think it's hard for producers to really like get recognized because they won't really like take the time to see who produced that song?
I feel like the people who look for it, and then the people who don't care will never care enough to, But I feel like that's where it really comes on a producer to go in and really build their brand. Like just getting a song, and like this is something I kind of had to learn early on too, because a lot of my earlier placements I didn't really take advantage of like I really should have. But like you gotta, just you being there to produce that song is cool, but that's only half of the job. Like you gotta make content and like really push that, you know what I'm saying? You're the one doing it, and put your face behind the music so that way beyond whatever that song does, your brand has the opportunity to grow and continue to make money. And that's the most important thing I feel like for real. As a producer, especially, even as an artist, whatever, you gotta have a brand behind whatever you're doing to like make yourself more legitimate and make your value last longer than just being whatever beat you produce. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to stand out as a producer too, but like producers that like really stand out, like to me, is like Metro Boomin or DJ Khaled, because I guess they throw on like when you hear one of their beats, it's theirs.
Yeah.
Is that something you do with your beats, or like when you produce, do you throw a tag in there?
Yeah, I got a tag. Hey, Mal, you cooking? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, that's my tag. I'm thinking about changing it though, for real. A lot of times, like I be dealing with a lot of A&Rs that don't even be wanting tags on beats though. They want everything. Like I got Nav's like personal number to like send him beats. So you can't send Nav any beats with a tag on it.
Oh, like, you can't?
No.
Damn.
Yeah,
he
even said that shit in the song. He was like, if the producer send me a beat with a tag, I'ma just remake it. Like in I'll send you the exact song he said that shit in. But he literally said, like, if you send me a beat with a tag on it, I'm gonna remake it.
Does that in that situation, when you're in that, does that annoy you, or you just take advantage of the opportunity
it definitely used to annoy me. But like at the end of the day, like it's an opportunity, and the bag that's gonna come from it if it get placed, like sometimes you gotta know when to give and take, when to say fuck that, I want my respect and I want all my credit, and when it's okay to just be like, you know what, long term play, this might be a situation that could benefit me more than just the initial, So knowing that in this industry is very important too.
Because it's like it could be like an ego thing or a pride thing in the way for other people, right?
Yeah, nah, for real. And to get in the way of yourself for real. You know what I'm saying? Like pride is a dangerous thing for real. It's a good thing in some aspects, because like pride, like confidence in yourself like will help you go further. But like pride and ego like will have you sometimes in the way of your own blessings for real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of artists like, and even me, I had to learn in certain points and times in my career where it's just like, I felt like I wanted things to be a certain way or this, that, and the third, or this is how I wanted it. But in the grand scheme of things, if I took the time to step back and look at things from a long-term perspective and saw how I could have played it rather than, you know, getting upset or, you know, feeling some type of way about how something played out. You have to play chess in this game for real. Like this game is a game of chess.
You got to be able to adapt, right?
Yeah, for real.
What's it called? So like I was saying, like, but what advice would you give to like another producer that for them to really get out there? Like, maybe like you said, like, you know, make content and all that, but like, how would you really what advice would you give them to really stand out?
The way you can stand out is by investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Period. Whether that's in making content, whether that's in taking these trips, pulling up to these studios, networking with this person, that person, and the third. Like, I tell my story. So Young Land on the Track was my first manager in this shit. He was doing, so way back, this was like 2015, 2016. There was a studio on the South called Boombox Studios.
Okay.
And he was doing sessions out of Boombox when he would come back in town. I think it was like $300 for 3 hours and like a custom beat. And I saw that. I didn't even really know who Young Land was at the time, for real, like to keep it a buck. But I saw, he said he had worked with like Fetty Wap, and I didn't know he had produced RGF Island, you know what I'm saying? So this is all things I found out after the fact. But I'm like, it's an opportunity to go to network with somebody. I produce and I make songs, so like we can go collab on a beat, and then I'll, you know, just do a song to it. And then just off of that situation and taking advantage of that and investing in myself, literally, I think we did one more session after that. And then like top of the year, he was managing me. I was taking trips to Atlanta, like exposing me to his network and making connections and like really growing in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Had I not taken that chance and said, I'm going to bet on myself and spend this $300 and who knows what's going to come from it, but I'm going to just do it and hope for the best, then I don't want to say I wouldn't be here right now, but just the way that my life was ordained and how God like laid it out, it wouldn't have happened like it did. You know what I'm saying? And like regardless of, you know, whatever happened in the past, like always give like massive respect to Land for real. Just for what it's worth, like he put me in a position to win, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like one of the first few people to like really see something in me, even maybe that I didn't even see in myself enough to say like, you know, I'm gonna give him a chance. And like whatever, I'm always gonna be, you know.
Yeah, he really put you on like to the game and like to learn. That way you're independent now, right?
Yeah.
So like how long were you being managed for?
I was managed for 2 years. Really, the deal was for 3 years, but I got dropped the last year.
Oh, you got dropped?
Yeah, I got dropped. There was like, I don't really want to like go into specifics, but like there was just some things that I was like kind of confused on, like, and there were some things I kind of saw that kind of made me, you know, and we still had a good relationship after it ended, like, you know, but I think it was just time for that to, you know.
Well, business is business, right?
Yeah. It was like certain business stuff like didn't really, I feel like, get taken care of properly, and maybe that was just my misunderstanding of it at the time, and maybe the way I brought it up or said, you know, maybe wasn't the best, you know, but you live and you learn, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, at that point, so, and also too, like in hindsight, like I can say, we talked earlier about me kind of being a person that does a lot of different things and wears a lot of different hats. So I think in that moment, like I had the opportunity to like basically be a producer, but like I am not just solely a producer, you know what I'm saying? So like all of my energy doesn't just go into being a producer, because like I am able to acquiesce in a lot of different areas. And like because of that, maybe it seemed like I wasn't really taking advantage of an opportunity, when in reality, like it's not just one opportunity. I'm trying to really cultivate a whole situation. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of that, like I said, I'm grateful for the time that I was, with him, and the things that I was able to accomplish from that. And then after I got out of that deal, I continued to, elevate and, build my brand, even after that, which at first, like losing that deal was like, damn, what do I do? Like, where do I go? Like, how did I get to this point? Where do I go now? You know what I'm saying? But I think the most important lesson from that is just continuing to put one foot in front of the other, you know what I'm saying? And continuing to be you and be excellent and grow despite whatever situation. And that's what I feel like I was able to do during that period of time.
When you went independent, like, did you learn as you go, or did you already have like an idea of how the legal work went and the legal work was going, and how to like really, attack the legal work, the legal business?
Yeah. So by that point, like I think my first major placement was the one with Black Youngsta, and then I think I got another one with Lil Gotit, and there was like some other little ones in between there that we had got as well, that like there was no paperwork or anything done for. So like those songs just kind of, whatever. But I already had a understanding of like, how those situations go, how the negotiations work. After a song gets placed, boom, lawyers talk. Now we're negotiating points and what the upfront's going to be, what publishing is going to be, like, you know what I'm saying? So I already had that understanding. And that's kind of like what I think kind of maybe scared a lot of people from working with me too, because it's like I already understood what I was entitled to from those situations, and like I already had agreements to show like this is how much I got paid from doing this. So like this is like, you know what I mean? This don't even make sense. Right? Exactly. So yeah.
You think that's a good thing though, because it just dumbs it down to quality over quantity. Like you just work with whoever is comfortable paying that amount, or just...
Not necessarily, because like, I mean, at this point, I don't even want to say this because I feel like people are going to interpret it the wrong way. I don't do this for the money. Like, now mind you, I do need to get paid for what I do.
Yeah. But
money doesn't drive me to do what I do. You see what I'm saying? So like in some situations, like there's been plenty of times, like with FNF Chop, I produced a song on his last album.
Oh, which song was that?
Danger.
Oh, okay, I like that song. Yeah.
So like, and with him, like he from the city, so like, I literally was like, I'm not gonna charge you nothing up front for the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you from here. Like I support you. You got signed to a major. I'm not trying to dip into your label budget. You feel me? Like I want to see you win. I just want to make sure the back end is, straight.
Yeah. So,
in situations like that, like I don't mind taking chances on people and like, you know what I'm saying, doing certain things off of the love. It just has to make sense. Yeah. And I can't take a loss in doing that. Or if I'm deciding to take a loss, like it can't be like super greed on your part and I'm like already deciding like I'm gonna look out basically, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
you got to gain beneficy from at least one different aspect, like maybe like recognition or like the money side is like you said, it got to make sense, right?
No, it definitely has to make sense. More so like when I'm talking about making sense, like I'm talking about pub and points. Like that's a producer, songwriter, rapper's stock, publishing and points. Like points basically, I forgot exactly how many points are accrued off of a song, but basically when you produce a record, you get an upfront fee, which is basically the label is going to pay you an upfront advance on whatever royalties your song generates mechanically. Then you have like your back end payments of like BMI and Sound Exchange and all that other stuff, which is like our other royalty generators as well. And basically during the negotiations, you're basically figuring out what percentage everyone is going to end up with of that pie.
After like once the record releases and everything?
Exactly.
Okay.
So in some situations, artists might offer you more upfront bread so you take less of the back end. Or in some situations as a producer, if they're offering you a super low amount of money upfront, then you might just say, fuck the upfront bread, just give me more of the back end. If you feel like it's an artist that's gonna stream well, that's gonna allow you to recoup that money. You know what I'm saying? So those are like all things to like take into account when you're doing those types of negotiations.
So I guess this may be like I'm like you said, you know better. This is how I see it. Like theoretically, you would probably from not a small artist, but artist that doesn't do as many streams, you'd probably take a bigger upfront payment, right? And for bigger artists, you like more of the royalties, right?
Yeah, and like every situation is different. You're not always guaranteed that an artist is even going to recoup. So say in the instance that you decide you're not going to take any upfront bread, and then the artist puts a song out and it flops, then you're really not eating and you kind of took a L. But depending on how invested you are in that artist, that might be something that you do. And like all of these variables are things that you yourself have to decide what it's worth for you and the situation to make sense. I can't really tell you what exactly would make sense in every scenario, but you know, just having those things in mind, and for each party to have an adequate understanding of what that pie looks like, enough to say this is what's fair for real, and we're gonna stick to that, and that's gonna be what it's gonna be.
You know, how hard is it to like really monetize being a producer? Like, you know, like how long did it take you to really like maybe start seeing enough money where you're like, okay, I can pursue this comfortably?
I feel like that's different for everyone. I mean, for me, like when I was single and like didn't really have as many responsibilities, like I was really thugging it for real. Like I was working, like I said, I was during the time I was at Defiant, even before Defiant, when I was working at other studios. Shout out to my boy Sam Haskins, EMG Studios. That's really like once I got out of that deal, like I really spent a lot of time there. He was like a very good mentor to me. So shout out to Sam. But like doing sessions, and then like what else? Like producing, I was shooting videos and stuff like that. Like I always been a hustler, like I said. So it really just depends on how much grind you trying to put into it for real. You get in what you put out. But towards the end, when I was working at Defiant and like I was a chief engineer there, it was like I was making decent money, but like especially with like inflation and like things like that going up, it was like, and not to shit on artists, because like I love creatives, I love all creatives, and I understand the struggles of being a creative, but like being real, like the amount of money or the lack thereof that these artists are really trying to pay for what they're trying to get done, it kind of like I could not continue to be in a situation where I was waiting on someone else who didn't really see the value in what I was even doing to pay me what I was worth. And it kind of stripped me of the love that I had for it, because like, damn, I'm literally like, the only way I could equate it is like me prostituting my gift, bro. It's like I'm literally taking something that I'm so passionate about, and like I'm doing it whenever, wherever. Like people could book me an hour before, I'm there at the studio for 4 hours. Some of these people aren't even really that good, or even if they're not even good, sometimes they don't even want to listen to criticism or get better from a Billboard #1 producer that's trying to enhance their music. And like dealing with people on that level to that quantity, it just like it kind of took its toll on me for real. Mentally, like I couldn't continue to like give that much of myself in that area, and monetarily like not be able to make the amount of money that comfortably I would need to make in order for it to like make sense. Yeah,
but at least like in those situations where we weren't comfortable, the money was really like the only thing that really like made it okay at the time. Like, okay, at least I'm getting paid for this shit, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, no, even the money though, like the money isn't always like the be all end all. And like I said, it was something that I'm very passionate about. I love recording artists. I love producing artists. But it was just like at a certain level, I kind of capped out on the amount of money that I could make doing that. And it was like realistically, in order for me to manifest like the dreams and goals that I had for my company and like the things that I wanted to do and aspired to do, I had to make more money, which I wouldn't be able to do continuing to be in the rat race of recording this person, that person, that person. And then even after they leave, expecting so much of my time and like not having any time to say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on 2915 and really building out whatever that's going to be. You know what I'm saying? So if that was the case and monetarily it wasn't making up for it, that was really the reason why I kind of decided to fall back from doing the engineering and like doing it for any and everyone. Now I kind of just do it for who I want to do, when I want to do it, when it makes sense to do it.
On your time.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, let's just say theoretically I was a new up and coming artist. I have no streams, nothing really to show. and let's just say I came up to you like, hey, I want you to produce this song for me. How much can I know it's like, you don't have, maybe like give an exact figure, but what if like, how much can someone expect to pay for your time and your work?
So, well, I mean, I'll put it out there now. Generally, for like unsigned artists, it starts at $1,000.
Okay.
And I'm really flexible about how we can go about the process. Generally, how I prefer to do it is like an artist will go ahead and just record the song over a YouTube beat or another beat or whatever, and then send me the acapella with like the BPM and the key, so I can take it and reproduce the song how I hear it. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other times where I just get in the studio and lock in with an artist and we'll just cook up. Or I also have like a beat vault, and which is like my whole beat catalog, and like artists can like go through and like pick beats that they like and stuff like that. So there's a plethora of different ways to like, you know, to tap in and work with me. But like as far as customs, like if you want me to make a beat from you from scratch from start to finish, like that's gonna be a band.
And that's like that's produced and engineered and
that's just produced.
That's just produced. What's the big difference? Like me, I'm not really in the game or anything. So like, what's the main difference between producing and engineering? Like, what's the
right? I'm so glad you asked this question. This clip is gonna go up. So boom, so boom. An engineer's job is sonically to make sure the song sounds good. You have different types of engineers. So you have a recording engineer whose primary job is to, while the song is being recorded, make sure the levels are not distorted, make sure you're getting a good clean recording, and make sure like the flow of like the session is going well. Then you have a mix engineer whose job is to basically dynamically make your song sound big and full and professional. And then you have a mastering engineer who's basically their job is to make sure that the song loudness is comparable to other songs in its genre that it would be played near. So like you ever heard a song on a playlist or whatever and it kind of sounds like lower than like so it probably wasn't mastered properly. So mastering engineer is basically going to make sure that the song is as loud as it can be without compromising quality. Now all of those are engineered, right? When you actually move over to the producer side of things, a record producer is going to be, well, it can be a plethora of things, but in my scenario, is the person who is working with the artist and helping the artist get the best of themselves out of the record, out of their performance of the record, helping them make decisions as far as like maybe what to say, how to deliver it, like the tone, the energy, the emotion that they need to evoke from, you know, their performance in order to get the best quality recording. So those are all things that a vocal producer is gonna do, as well as like, say if I'm just executive producing the record, then I'm basically from the choice of instrumentation to the choice of the drums to the choice of whatever, like I'm basically orchestrating this song. Okay. And communicating to the artist while I'm recording, like, okay, boom, I need you to perform it like this. I need you to maybe come from your diaphragm a little more so I can get a little bit of fullness, or I might need you to step away from the mic a little bit. Like those types of things to where I can basically orchestrate the best performance and get the most out of the artist that I'm working with. So yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
So do you think that's one thing that really separates you from other producers? You're very like in tune with the artist and how they can like give them advice and everything?
Yes.
Is that one thing, like, is that the main thing that separates you from other producers? Or what's something that really separates you?
I mean, I would say, like, that's the majority, I feel like, of the reason why people want to work with me is because, like, time and time again, like when people come to work with me, they know that I'm gonna get the best out of them. And like, especially with singers too, like harmonies, which Lico could tell you, like, you know what I'm saying? I crack the whip. Like I'm not the most easy engineer to work with, but like I said, I always make sure I get the best out of everybody I work with. And my goal working with an artist is for them eventually not to need me. Okay. So like, I'm very hard on artists while I'm recording them, and I'm like very anal about, no, do it this way or perform it this way, or that's not right, this and the third. But it's only because when I'm not around and someone else is recording them or they're recording themselves, I want them to be able to be like, oh, this is what it's supposed to sound like, or this is what it is like.
Or this is what Mal told me, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I put artists through artist boot camp for real. Working with me is like artist development.
And that's in the lab. Like I saw I think the latest episode you put out of In the Lab, the same thing you were just telling me. I think you told one of the girls like, singing like this, or like one of the artists said like, "Where's the Julio?" And you like, "Where's the Julio?" You should be like, "Where's," he was like, "Where's Julio?" You're like, "Where's the Julio?" Shit like that, like the little things, right?
Exactly. And like those are the little things that like sometimes I listen back to a song and be like, damn, it's annoying as fuck. Like when someone says something like, and there's clearly a better way it could have been said, or like there's clearly like, you know what I'm saying? Like you listen back to it like, damn, I should have said that differently, or, you know, perform that a little bit better. Like those are the things I listen to music and I hear and I'm like, damn. Which for better or for worse, sometimes I wish I didn't listen to music like that and I could just enjoy it like a regular person. But, you know,
you gotta critique it.
Yeah, that's what I feel like my gift is, for real.
I guess you sacrifice the, like, just being able to regularly listen to music just on some chill shit. Because even, let's just say, if when you're riding your car, driving down the city, whatever, any song you hear, do you like critique it, listen to like the beats, or do you just chill to it?
To be real, when I'm riding around, I'm mostly listening to podcasts.
Same,
but like musically, like sometimes I really had to train myself to not be so critical of like music in my regular free time, because like I said, when we were talking about me like engineering and like going so hard to the point to where it was like draining, like I would leave the studio and not want to listen to music at all. Like I don't want to hear a single note, like, because it just took so much of me, you know, at that point in time. But now I'm starting to get back into the discovery phase and like really finding music that I like. Like me and Lico, back when we were kids, like we would always go like diving for like the newest songs on like Spinrilla and like, you know what I'm saying? Like the new Fat Trail or the new whoever, like, you know what I'm saying? We would share songs and like that was fun to us, for real. That's how we like really grew and found new music and found love for music, just by doing that. So I'm really trying to get back into the discovery phase of like looking for, you know, music that feeds me and makes me feel something. It's just a lot of the music that's being created right now doesn't really do that, because it's so cookie cutter, and you know, there's a place for it, but like a lot of people aren't really taking too much time with their music anymore, and it shows because the songs aren't lasting as long. Like the albums are listened to for maybe 2 weeks, and then the fans are craving something more. It's just like music isn't sticking as long as that used to, and I really feel like that's just because of the level of passion, or the level of what's the word, like.
But you think it's just too saturated right now?
I don't even want to say too saturated. I don't want to say too saturated. I feel like too saturated is like, it's very easy to say that it's too many people doing this. You know what I'm saying? But even if it's too many people doing it, like that should mean that the people who are actually doing it and doing it well are like the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? So I never like using the excuse of it's too saturated. Like if you want to do it, do it. But just know that if you're going to do it, you need to do it to the level of the people that are doing it best. And if you're not, then you need to reevaluate why you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, since you produce for different genres and different artists that do maybe singing or they rap, what's like your specialty? Like, damn, I'm really good at the R&B, or I'm really good at the rap beats. Like, what's like your really like special genre?
Man, I am an R&B head, for real. I like ratchet, like twerk music too, like twerk, like club shit. But like really, I'm an R&B head. Like I grew up, my grandpa like had me listening to Babyface and like Boyz II Men, Jodeci, Shia, SWV, like 90s R&B is like where my heart lives. So even when I'm making like turned up shit, like I love using like fat, like nostalgic chords and like just that feeling, you know what I'm saying, of R&B, and infusing that into other genres as well. But definitely I love R&B. I like rap shit too, you know what I'm saying? Like just turned up shit, but R&B is where my heart is at though, for real.
You know, it's like you said earlier you worked with Chop. When Chop came to you, you automatically knew it was gonna be a rap beat, but like Chop's music is more like a like you have to like when you work with artists, you have to look at their previous work and try to like match like their flow, like their previous beats. Like a lot of his beats are very bouncy. Did you have to make a bouncy beat as well, or?
Well, I think when me and Chop linked up for real, I don't even know if I cooked up for him scratch for real. We were just going through my catalog and I was playing shit. I think I actually did cook up a record for him. Like I actually like tried to write a record for him, but I don't know if it might have been too not in the bag that he's comfortable with. And like that's my thing as well. Like I listen to artists and I don't necessarily try to copy or like put them in the same box that they've been in. If anything, my goal is to push them out of their box, to get them uncomfortable and to do something that they never have done before. For good or for bad, if it works, great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But like you can't really get far staying in your comfort zone. And as a producer, as like a good record producer, like I feel like my job is really to make people not necessarily to make them uncomfortable, but to force them out of the box that they're comfortable in to like explore something new.
Bring the best out of them?
To bring the best out of them, but to bring something new that they might not have even known that they had in them, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, like the more you do that, you bring whatever sauce that you got from doing that new thing into what you're comfortable in. Or you might even experiment and do something totally different just based off the fact that you tried something that you never thought you could do. And then it ended up being, you know? Yeah. So. You
know, it's like for the people that don't know, can you tell them or can you tell us a little bit about the In the Lab writing camp?
Yeah. So after, like I said, after Defiant, my passion for music and just creating had kind of dwindled. And my boy Peter, he had invited me to a camp that he was doing for this artist called Thomas Dyer, which real quick, shout out to my boy Pete Rango. Live Foundation is a dope nonprofit organization that works with children in the school systems, like showing them how to like make beats and like produce, songwrite, and all that other stuff. So just wanted to shout out Live Foundation and Pete Rango doing great things for the community. But so yeah, he did a camp for this artist named Thomas Dyer, and he invited me to come out. And we went out to Atlanta for a week, and that experience like really reinvigorated my like passion for like creating. It was just a house full of us in the crib making melodies, making hook ideas, making references, and just like being in that energy was enough to like kind of bring me out of the mood I was in and the like the perspective that I had on creating, and like really open my eyes to like, you know, just the freedom and the love of creating music on that level again. So I came back from that experience feeling like reinvigorated to create and this, that, and the third. And then my girl gave me the idea. She was like, why don't you just get a crib and like do a camp? Like you always been trying to do camps. Defiant did like during the early days of Defiant. Matter of fact, when they shut down for the pandemic, during like the morning time to like 12 o'clock, they had open sessions that me and Gabe were facilitating, where like people could just come in and learn how to engineer, learn how to record, and like work on references and things of that sort. So like camps have always been something that we've been passionate about. Even when I was signed to Land and we were like going back and forth, we would get cribs. Like I'd get a crib in Atlanta and just invite my artists to come out. We would just go out there and work and just have a studio set up in the crib. So like, so boom, fast forward, my girl is like, yeah, we should get a crib and do. And like whole time I'm thinking like, that's a great idea, but how the fuck am I going to pay for it? Yeah. Which really kind of goes back into me doing like the business credit and like having, you know, that knowledge and being able to build that out, which I guess we'll get into later. But yeah, so we just decided to go ahead. I got this crib in Atlanta and just reached out to all of my industry connections and like, got a whole bunch of studio sessions, had a studio session going on at the crib. And we just went out there and brought the best people from Richmond that I knew out there, and we just worked and made music for the week. And then from there, they just kind of like grew and evolved from that one. We brought one to Richmond, the top of 2023 at Good People's. From there, we went to Atlanta to do one at Loud House Studios, which is where like Lil Baby came. Like Loud House is the studio that Lil Baby and like Turbo and like all of them came out of for real. So I'm really tight with the owner Jules. Shout out to Jules and Loud House and ATL. So we did one there, and that one Troy Taylor actually came to, which Troy Taylor is the person that basically discovered Trey Songz.
Oh really?
Yeah. So he's Grammy Award winning ASCAP BMI award-winning songwriter and producer with countless major records. So he came to that camp, and we facilitated. He was doing this thing called the TTU Live, where he did like an open thing where people just came and asked questions and did this, that, and third. And he invited me to come while we were out there. So we pulled up, got back to Richmond, and I just reached out to him, like, appreciate the invite and thank you for coming to the camp. We're planning another one for New York. Would love to have you come out and facilitate. I'll cover your travel, this, that, and the third, and we can try to, So basically, I took his event that he did in Atlanta and, like, put one on in New York in conjunction with, like, other studio sessions. And we did another camp in New York in August. Came back from that one, did like a little mini producer camp in Richmond about a month ago with TB Digital and Producer Grind. And then the last one we did was in Capitol Heights, Maryland, like right outside of Washington, D.C., about 2 weeks ago. So we just been on a roll, just tapping in each different market and just trying to find the dopest producers, songwriters, like industry people, whatever. Like whatever you do, if you have a talent and it hasn't been exposed, like I want to hear it. I want to hear what you can do. And maybe I can give you an opportunity like someone gave me and really try to put a situation together. So
yeah, it's like, how many do you think you've done up to this date? Like, do you know exactly how many or just a rough idea? So
like official in the lab writers camps, 6.
Okay.
Now like counting like all the times we just went to Atlanta and got a crib and went out there for a week and did it, like countless times because like back in even during and like right after I signed Atlanta or whatever, me, Gabe, Pac, like we had kind of built our own networks in Atlanta. So I was traveling out to the A at least like 4 to 6 times a year.
Yeah.
Just trying to network and continue building relationships that I had built. So we would just go out there and just network and just mob, like guerrilla warfare, like just go out there and just tap in with everybody. And I just get an Airbnb, everybody would come out and we'll just, do the thing for a week. So that's always kind of been something that we did, is just during that period of time, we weren't really focused on like vlogging and recording it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like we're just going to do this type of thing.
So. I saw like one of the videos, like y'all just get together a group of people and y'all just like kind of like give each other opinions or like hear beats together, make the beats together, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So how we generally break it up is like producers will have their own room.
Okay.
And then this last one we did in DC, we had 2 songwriting rooms. So in each songwriting rooms, we just pull up my beat vault, pick a beat that everyone's kind of like vibing with or whatever. And the process generally kind of goes like this. So we'll have melody, like songwriters that are really good at like top line and melody, go in first. And from the top of the beat to the end of the beat, just kind of do whatever comes to mind, just kind of like freestyle lyrics or freestyle melodies, whatever. And then we'll go through all the takes of that and take the best pieces of each of those takes and kind of try to like craft a song from the feeling, the initial like spark of whatever idea that was, and kind of bring it together and glue it together to make a song out of it.
Have you guys ever released a song like that came from In the Lab?
No. We have a couple of songs, but really I've been trying to hold off on releasing anything because I really just want to like get one placed and get somebody a win. But we are probably going to drop one of the songs next year because I had a weird situation at one of the studios. Like, we had recorded the whole song there and they had dropped the session on my hard drive, but when I opened up the session on my computer, none of the audio was in it.
Oh,
so like
shit.
I'm literally gonna have to go and take the version of the song that we recorded there and like do some stuff to it to like get it to, but that song was really dope. And that was actually the first song that Troy Taylor was there at that camp. He helped vocal produce and do all that. So that'll probably be one of the first ones we put out.
How, like, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, how like other artists have like their, I don't know, maybe good example, like maybe Internet Money, they'll drop like an album. Yeah. Could you see yourself dropping In the Lab albums?
Well, I'm working on a project now called Planet Nostalgia. Okay. And that's gonna be like my producer album, I guess you could say. I'm gonna show you a clip real quick. I did a song I got with with Chop and this artist called Big Homie Tiny, which she had like a viral song on TikTok a few years ago. But and I got like this really cool animated music video shot to it. I want to show you, or I'll show you in a few. But yeah, we're putting together like a project of just like all the dope artists that I've worked with, like from the city and people not in the city for real. I just want to put together like a really classic, dope body of work and just put it out and just see what people think.
That'd be fire. You know, it's like you don't really pursue yourself as an artist anymore, really, right?
Not really. I mean, I'm the epitome of the artist that has. You seen that meme where it's like the artist has like a big extra large backpack full of songs that they have unreleased. My problem has always been like I always waited for the right time, and the right time is never the right time. So now I just have like hella music, and haven't consistently put anything out. I think the last time I dropped a project was 2021.
I saw it was like 2021. You think like it just overwhelmed you?
I guess overwhelmed would be a good word. I feel like kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier from like my first situation in management with land, and how like maybe during that time I should have just been focusing on being a producer rather than like, you know, doing all the other things, which I mean I couldn't help but do because that's just who I am, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like with everything that's kind of going on right now, and like how In the Lab is growing and how 2915 is growing and like all these other avenues and things, like my main focus isn't being an artist for real. Yeah. That would be like my ego going into overload. I feel like, you know, I feel like once everything is kind of like solidified and moving in a certain direction, and like kind of on autopilot, then I can take the focus and say, all right, now I want to focus on like trying to create and be an artist. But I'm just not really, I don't think I'm as interested as in being an artist and like being just like a person who makes songs and puts stuff out, more than I want to be a person that is able to bring a situation together and like create value for people, you know?
Yeah, and anything that it's better for you that way in a way, because like you're putting out your art, but like you are giving value to other people. Yeah. And people can reference back to you. Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. Yeah. You know, do you want to crack open the drinks you brought?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. So I'm trying to be a health junkie. Not even really. I'm pretty healthy. I don't eat like red meat or pork or anything. Like, I try to take care of my digestive system, but I have like some digestive issues. So I'm like a kombucha junkie. Like I love these drinks.
What is kombucha?
So kombucha is fermented tea. Hold on, let me read this shit. All right, we started Remedy on our kitchen counter. We do things the old school way, long aged brews, small batches. We're making it right. Blah, 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 blah. So it's organic, raw vegan kombucha. So it's basically fermented tea, and it has like alcohol, but like not like alcohol to get you drunk. It kind of tastes like a beer a little bit, but it's really good for your digestive system. And yeah, I drink them all the time.
So do you have to be 21 to buy those?
No, like this, it's not the type of alcohol that's gonna like get you drunk. It's like the fermentation of the tea like creates some sort of alcohol, but it's not like liquor alcohol to get you fucked up. It's more like it helps clean your system out. Okay. So which one do you want, mixed berry or raspberry lemonade?
Ooh, raspberry lemonade.
All right, bet. Oh shit.
It does kind of taste like a beer. Yeah. You want to try it, David? Yo, don't be afraid to hit the button, dog. All right, that's the first ever question on like that we're doing like with the little game. So let me explain that to people, right? Okay. So David, do the noise again. So when you guys hear that little sound, what we do is like we'll get the guest, in this case you, to like dig in this bowl. We got like a bunch of different like questions written down. You can't see them. Okay. You just shake it up, pick one, answer it.
Okay, bet.
And there's a bunch of weird questions, serious questions, all types of shit. All right. Let's see.
Do you believe people can change?
You believe people can change?
Yes. If they want to. And everyone can change.
Yeah.
What did Rocky say? You can change, and I can change. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like everyone grows. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even the same person that you were yesterday. So everyone can change. It's just about wanting to change and wanting to be a better version of yourself for real. So
Yeah, would you say like you've gone through a situation where like you had to change for the better?
yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Meeting my girl. For real, like you know what I'm saying. Like, with shout out to my baby Vibe. She was supposed to be here today, but she had some family stuff going on. But that's like my right hand for real. But like, I feel like when you meet the right person, like it forces you to like become a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
Even if you think like you're good how you are. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, everything is a compromise, and like being in relationships with people, like obviously there's certain things that, you know, you have to get used to together or whatnot, but just being with somebody that can like bring out the best in you and like make you be a better version of yourself is like, that's the goal. If you found that, then you found something good. So,
I haven't found that yet, but one day.
Don't rush it. It'll come. It'll come.
Uh-huh.
And I find too, like when you go looking for it is when you won't get it, or you'll look so hard that you'll just accept anything that seems like it.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely take your time. You'll know when it's right, and when it's right, don't be a fool. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, I've wasted some time.
Yeah. How old are you? If you don't mind me-
18.
What?
Yeah.
You're 18?
Yeah. I just graduated a few months ago. Like,
how old are you? Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm old as shit.
You said 27, right?
28. I
28?
just turned 28 in September.
Oh shit. Well.
Virgo gang. But yeah, nah, that's dope though. That's fire that you're doing this so young, bro. For real. Yeah. Like you're crazy. That's dope.
it was honestly, you know, from the time that we came up with the idea, like to do it, to the time we started, it was like a month and a half.
Yeah.
But it's like we just sent it. But we didn't want to half-ass it.
Yeah.
Because like we saw this is how we saw it. First impressions count.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted it to look professional.
Yeah.
That way people could stay tuned in. Because if people just see me like record off a phone or something, they won't really
respect it.
Yeah, or it's like they won't, even if it does get better over time, they won't be there to see that.
Yeah.
I'd rather it start off good and people be like, okay, this can go somewhere, and stay tuned in to see where it goes.
I feel that. One caveat to what you said though. I never want to discourage anyone from being able to start wherever they're at.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I wasted so much time like trying to like start perfect to where people don't really realize like there's people watching all the time.
Yeah.
And what people really tune back in to see is the progression.
Yeah.
And how it grows and how it evolves. So it's like, don't be afraid to be raw in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And to gradually grow into what you're going to become. You know what I'm saying? Because people are going to, even if they tune out in a 6 months, a year time, they're going to be like, damn, wait, what the fuck? He was just here. Now it's, you know, and like that'll be even enough to make people want to tap in. You know what I'm saying? So start where you're at. Always try to start where you're at. Whatever you can do, wherever you can start. If you can start in a beautiful podcast studio with the best equipment, do that. If you can only start on your phone, whether it's recording music or whatever, like just start where you can and start where you can be consistent and then grow, you know. It's
like, that's the beauty of it too. Like the journey, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
For us, it was like, you know, it's like, I really wanted to like, I'm a person that I like overthink a lot.
Me too.
So I really wanted to, I saw it as like, if I'm really going to put time and effort into this, let it be worth it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I am taking like the very aggressive growth route. But like that to me is the fun. That's the fun of it to me.
I respect it, like, especially with you being 18, bro. Like, I really respect it and
appreciate that.
I'm calling it, bro. I already know by the time you're like my age, you're gonna be crazy and you're gonna be like up for real. Just because you started this young and you're this passionate and you're like organized, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you keep on the trend that you're on right now, bro, like already this is gonna be something way crazier.
I appreciate that. That's, like I said, that's the fun of it. Like, who knows where me and my boy David Cameron, we always talk about it. Like, that's the beauty of it for us. We don't know where it can go. Yeah. For all I know, it may not get any bigger from today, or we don't know where it'll be next year. That's like the fun part. Yeah. It's just got to keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah. But Coming back a little bit more to the music side.
Okay.
What skills do you think it takes to be a very good, like, not good, but what skills does it take to be a songwriter?
Songwriter.
Because like you have to know a little bit about poetry and stuff.
I mean that doesn't necessarily hurt. I feel like anybody can write a song. Now if you can write a good one, is a different story.
Yeah.
And there's like certain elements to songwriting that you should try to learn. But I really feel like the more you listen to music, and like develop your taste in what you like and don't like, and the more you try to mimic that, then you'll eventually become the version of whatever that you need to be. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, what I stress, especially during my camps, is that number one, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Every idea can be improved upon, which kind of like eliminates the ego part of it, because it's like if you're in a situation where you're afraid to like voice your idea because of what else or what someone else might think of it, it's just like, your idea is great.
Yeah.
Can your idea probably be better? Yes, but that doesn't mean if someone improves on your idea that you had a poor idea. Sorry, the kombucha.
Hey, you're good. Yeah, like the little bubbles, right?
Yeah.
The fizz.
So yeah, that's number one. And then two, as a songwriter, I feel like just to become a better songwriter, like I said, you kind of have to find what you like and what type of songs that you like and mimic that until you can create it your own way, especially even producing. Like I encourage all producers, like if you find a beat or a song that you like remake it and remake all the stuff that you like, so that way you know what it takes to make that. And then when you go to create your own, it's like you're putting the sauce that you learned from all the things that you like. Now you're mixing it together and you're creating your own sound from it. You know what I'm saying?
Would that annoy you if somebody, let's just say you produce a beat, you show it to somebody and they go and remake it? Does that bother you a little because it's like stealing your work in a bit, or it's just like it's fair game at that point?
I mean, yeah. I mean, as a human, that shit would probably annoy the fuck out of me. But also from the perspective of just being a creator, I know and understand that there's nothing new under the sun. Yeah. So anything that I've thought to create, I'm pretty sure someone has probably had a similar, if not the same idea. So yeah, but I mean, there's a difference between like blatantly just copying some shit and using something as inspiration. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, even if you are inspired by me, or I don't want to say by me because I don't want to make this like a thing, but like if you're inspired by something in general, like there's no harm or shade in like crediting where you got it from or showing love to what inspired you to do whatever. If anything, that makes you even more of a solid person for real. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're actually pointing back to what inspired you. So it's not like you're just trying to take credit for,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because it's like, at that point, I feel like everybody does it. I forgot who. I think Chop told me about this. He had when he was it was G Sambo. Yeah, G Sambo. When he was coming up, one of the producers tried charging him like $5,000 for a beat, but him and like his people, whatever, they redid the beat and made it sound almost the same. But it's like when you do that, if it sounds so identical, could it still be copyrighted or is your own work?
That's where it kind of gets tricky.
Yeah.
I feel like when remember I told you earlier how like if usually I like for people to like record over a YouTube beat or whatever and just send me the acapella. I don't even want to hear the original version 9 times out of 10 because like I don't want to be like marred by what it sounded like at first to like make me like make something sound exactly the same as that. If I'm making something new, then I don't want it to necessarily sound. I might want it to have the same tempo, the same energy, but like I'm not ready to copy the same exact melody from the original. That's like that's copying. Now, if I'm saying, okay, bet this is where it started, and now I want to take it here, but it has to have certain elements, it has to have a certain feel, then that's one thing. But basically saying, okay, I need this beat to sound exactly like this one is like I don't really rock with that.
It's like how often do you just like just be in your room or just mess around like to make a beat, like, oh, let me put this and that together, or like Isn't that like the fun part of making beats? Is like it's endless.
Yeah, not for real. And like that's kind of goes back to that thing where I was saying like there's no such thing as a bad idea, but every idea can be improved upon. I was just yesterday, I was on a we're doing this thing with this nonprofit in Albany, New York. There's like a thing in the schools where they're mentoring kids in the music industry. And I was talking to the kids and they were asking me about like my process and how do I like go about making beats. And I'm like, if I ever started to go to the computer and do the exact same thing every time, then that's how I know I need to stop. Because when you're not experimenting, when you're not trying new things, then that's when your beats start to sound redundant and the same. And
Repetitive.
and there's no energy, there's no love, there's no feeling associated with it if it's just like, you know, all this. It's very simple. You know what I'm saying? Which simple is good and simple has a place, definitely. And I guess I'm not saying this to be confused with like just overproducing and having like so much shit in the beat to where like when a songwriter or artist hears it, they can't do anything on it. I'm saying like don't get stuck in a routine. If you are stuck in a routine, force yourself to do something different and push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's gonna make you do something different, you know?
You know, it's like tell me a little bit about the 2915?
2915.
2915. Okay, that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
2915 Entertainment. Like I guess that goes hand in hand with In the Lab, right?
Yeah, so it's a subsidiary. So 2915 is basically like the overarching company, and like under 2915, there's different umbrellas or whatever. So Nostalgia and In the Lab is kind of like the songwriting production umbrella category of things, and then MMC MXV, which is the Roman numeral version of 2915, is basically like our media agency and like our media conglomerate. So
do you currently manage any people?
No.
Would you ever want to like do that?
That's something that we're looking into in the future. I have managed people before, but I'm kind of like more so of the mindset now to where like at one point I used to just want to like manage people just to have people under the umbrella and have people be like affiliated. You fucking with it?
Yeah. The little burps and stuff too though. Like the fun is,
you feel it? Like,
yeah, I feel it.
I bet your gut is gonna feel so much better tomorrow.
Where can I get these?
Walmart. Well, actually, they're on Amazon as well. You might want to go ahead and just get an affiliate link. You can get like a case of like 24 on Amazon, I think for like $40.
Oh, that's kind of expensive though.
But,
but they're good.
In Walmart, they're like $2 a can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and they're good for your gut health too. So.
Oh, but I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. What were we talking about?
We're talking about like you managing people.
Oh yeah. So at one point in time, I really wanted to just like manage people, and not necessarily just to manage them, but like I felt like I had a lot of connections and I wanted to try to make it work for other people and to like create value and have more people under the umbrella and like, you know what I'm saying, create value. But then like I realized there's more value in just facilitating and managing someone when the situation and the time is right, rather than just wanting to manage someone, because I don't have time to babysit people. And if you're not a self-driven person or a person that's going to put in just as much work, then it's just like, what do you need management for?
Because you have to be an add-on. You can't be the person that makes them, I guess, right?
Yeah, you know? So in that situation, that's where I kind of shifted more towards like maybe just creating opportunities for people to like come together, or maybe creating opportunities where people can meet people in the industry and doing this, that, and the third, and see like maybe if I lay out this game plan of how to be successful, see who actually can take it. And then from there, okay, boom. So you're actually this, that, and the third. So maybe now is the time for you to, you know, and taking that approach more so than, oh, you're talented, you're fire, I'm going to manage you, like, you know, type situation. But yeah, that's really where we're more so at with it now, just trying to build. And when the situation is right, then yeah. But, you know, I'm just really down to work for real. If we're working, you know what I'm saying, we don't have to have papers, you know, to work necessarily. Now, when it comes to like, you know, business and us handling business for you and everything like that, then that's a business conversation that can be had. But, you know, it's not just going to be any and everyone that can do that, you know.
How important is it to have lawyers in this industry? It's very, right?
Very, 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 very important. Because you will definitely get fucked. with no Vaseline if you don't have one. Matter of fact, really, honestly, sometimes even with one, you'll still get fucked. But yeah, it's important. Know what you're signing. Don't sign shit unless you know what it's saying. If you're reading it and you don't understand it, seek legal counsel before you sign anything. For real. Luckily, like I've never really too much gotten like burnt for real, just because like while I was with Lan, he had a lawyer that basically looked over everything, which like I said, there was certain situations where like now hindsight 2020, like I feel like really should have been handled a little bit better. But like I said, I can't really speak too much. Yeah. And I don't want to say that it was a bad situation or I just got taken advantage of, because like that's not the case. But yeah, definitely make sure you have a lawyer look over your stuff for sure. Yeah. So that way you know. And also too, I want to mention this as well. A lot of times people will enter into deals or like get a contract and think, oh, this is my big break. I'm gonna do it, whatever. And then you'll hear those same people or those artists like bitch and moan about how shit isn't working for them and this, that, and the third, when really they're upset because they didn't really understand what they were signing at the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? And if they had a full understanding, then maybe they would have been able to make a more educated decision on signing or not signing or how they wanted to work that out, you know? But if you don't, and you sign it, then regardless of whatever that is, you're agreeing to hold up to terms of a contract. So therefore, at that point, you know, it's kind of on you.
But since you're independent, you don't have to deal with that as much, right?
What do you mean?
Like signing contracts with labels and all that stuff?
No. I still have a lawyer. Just because I'm not signed to like, so the deal I signed with Lan at first was just a management deal. Okay. I wasn't signed to like any like pub deals or anything like that. I recently, probably like 2 years ago, I signed like a co-pub deal, like a pub admin deal with this company called Video. But even in that situation, it was like good terms and like it wasn't anything like that was crazy. The getting fucked part comes with like dealing with labels, and like if your song or something gets placed, then they're like trying to dick you on publishing, how much publishing they're gonna give you, how much upfront they're gonna pay you, or if they're gonna, you know what I'm saying, like those types of terms. I'll be transparent and put something out there. So recently, I just did a remix. Have you heard of the TikToker T Marie?
T Marie, no, I haven't.
Okay. So I did she had a song called Hot Girls, which she's like a huge TikToker. She's dope as fuck. Follow her on like Instagram and TikTok at t.marie.
T.Marie.
But she's from Richmond. She signed to Dr. Luke, which is the producer that made the All My Life.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So like he's been living on the Billboard top 100s for like ages, decades. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a big hitter. So he had produced a song for her. They put it out. It didn't really like go up probably like how they thought it would. And I feel like the original song just didn't really fit her and her audience, like for real. So she sent me the song and she wanted me to reproduce it. So I produced 2 different versions. And so yeah, I think the song is actually gonna come out top of January. But basically, long story short, in the negotiations for me putting it out, like, or her putting it out, her team, her label putting it out, they basically said that since it's a remix of the original version, that they're not giving me any pub or any like points on the back end because it's a remix, since the original version was already put out.
Do you see that as one of those situations where you are maybe like getting taken advantage of, or is that something you're okay with in this situation?
I mean, I definitely wasn't okay with it, but like that was a situation where I looked at and I said, okay, in this situation, this is Dr. Luke, this is whatever this situation is, and rather than, my biggest thing at that point was, I know the artist in this situation isn't the one negotiating this. Yeah. This is the label, you know what I'm saying? So like me and her, this isn't our, you know what I mean? This is us, you know what I mean? And in that situation, it was also too like, am I gonna just say fuck it because this is way below what I'm worth? or am I going to take the chance on building a relationship and seeing where it can go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wasn't tripping. I was like, you know what? I'll take this one on the chin. Next time, it definitely won't be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But off the strength of just trying to build a relationship and build rapport and me actually wanting to invest time in her because I think she's dope. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, we'll just put it out, whatever needs to be. You know what I mean? But like those types of situations where like I still had my lawyer.
Yeah.
And there were still negotiations going on back and forth, and we were able to like maybe negotiate a little bit more upfront bread. But me, I'm a producer that wants pub. Well, I mean, not to say fuck the upfront because I still want my upfront money too. But like the value for me is those publishing because like it's like pub and points are like crypto. It's like stocks.
Yeah.
It might start off here, but that artist might blow up and then it.
Yeah.
You get a hit, those residuals, that's money that you eat off monthly, quarterly. You know what I'm saying? And that's like long-term play. Whereas like you just take this upfront money and then if this song goes up, you don't see anything else from it at all. You know what I mean? So I always would bet on myself and take pub in most situations. But like I said, it depends on the situation because if it makes sense, then, you know, terms can be negotiated. But
are those labels like very hard to deal with? Like they're very like they don't budge a lot on the negotiations.
It depends. It really just depends on the leverage of, like I said, this is a Dr. Luke. This isn't just like a Joe Blow label. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in his case, it's just like I don't need to do this. You know, so or whatever terms we want to do is basically what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But the more you're able to like kind of play the game and you get more points on the board, like you'll have more leverage to work with. Like the Trey Songz record that I did, I think I got paid like about $10,000 up front.
Okay.
And I still came out with 40% of the publishing, which that's
good.
That's Trey Songz. You know what I'm saying? So that deal actually was pretty good. I gifted 10% of the pub to the engineer that recorded me, Gabe, and I gave 5% to Gabe and I gave 5% to Young Land since, you know, it was defiant. I wanted the studio to get a plaque off of it. So I came away really with like 30% because I gifted 10% away.
Yeah.
But even still, like
that's still,
and that's Trey Songz.
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, initially I was like, bro, I'm worth way more than this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even my other agreements, like I get paid thousands of dollars for beats when I sell them to labels. So it's just like, but that's a situation where you kind of have to see and be like, okay, let me eliminate my ego enough to say, is this situation worth saying fuck the money up front to build a long-term relationship?
Because in reality, that long-term could just lead to more business and more money. Like you said, just take it in the chin this time, man.
Exactly.
You don't know what the future holds for you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the risk and that's the fun of it, I guess. But, you know, it's like if you weren't a producer, you weren't pursuing music, what could you see yourself doing? Because you said earlier you were in banking, right?
Yeah.
So how's that? Like,
nah, banking was never like my first path. Like, nah. So basically, when I left the studio, I entered into banking basically because I had a desire to educate artists and creatives on like how to be able to leverage having an LLC and like tap into their business credit. Because literally working with a lot of aspiring broke artists, you realize that like they just don't have the money. If they had the money, they'd probably be able to do all the things that they wanted to do. I've been in the same boat where it's like I have big dreams and aspirations of building a company to be whatever I wanted to be, but do I have the access to capital to really make that happen? Not really. So really that's kind of why I moved into banking. Literally the last year of me engineering, like I had started like doing DoorDash and Amazon Flex outside of doing sessions just so I could run it up. I took my credit from like a 580 to 730 within the span of a year.
Oh shit.
And then from there I just started to really develop and like learn more about credit, learn more about shifting stuff to business credit and, you know, all of that other stuff. So really my big thing was like, all right, bet I'm gonna move into banking and really help artists to fund themselves. So then that way it'll kind of establish the ecosystem and the economy within the creative realm of, okay, I don't have to necessarily spend all the money that I work for every week to invest into this craft. Maybe I'm able to get a credit line and just pay that off and be able to, invest from this. I don't have to interrupt my livelihood of spending, you know what I'm saying? But I can still invest into my dreams and, manifest things. And I feel like with that understanding, artists can really be able to manifest what they really want to become, you know what I'm saying? Because without money in this industry, like, you're really just chasing your tail.
Yeah, because you need money to make money.
Exactly.
I think you even said that in one of your interviews.
Yeah.
It's like, so what is like your position? Like your, what's the name of your job title?
I'm a retail banker too, and like the business specialist there. So basically, people come in, I help them open up their LLC, and then I can help them like apply for a business line of credit and just give them advice on certain things to do.
So is that something I can come to you for?
Yeah.
We're going to have to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, you don't have an LLC yet?
No.
Oh my God. Look. So let me give you a quick breakdown on LLCs real quick. Okay. All right. So boom. LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. Basically, what an LLC's original purpose is to protect you in the instance that, say, someone comes on your podcast and like slips and hurts themselves, or they say that you assassinate their character and they want to sue you, right?
Shit.
They cannot sue you. What's your name?
Brian.
They cannot sue Brian. They can sue the SMGT podcast. You know what I'm saying? So they can't come after any of your personal assets from that, because it's the business that they're suing, not you personally. What that also does is allows for you to be able to, through using your EIN, which is like your taxpayer ID number for your business. It's basically like another social for your business. To use that and leverage the rapport that you build through, I'm sorry, it's the kombucha.
Yeah, no, it's been hitting me too.
To leverage the, what you're able to do off of your EIN number as far as like the revenue you're bringing in from your business, to say, okay, boom, at the end of 2023 from my podcast, this is how much I made. I made $10,000. Okay. Now I want to go to a bank and say, all right, boom, this is my tax returns for the year. I spent I made $10,000 off my business. Can I get a loan? They're going to say, okay, so your business is grossing this much. If we give you another 5, you might be able to bring in another couple thousand of revenue. So now, boom, I'm going to give you a credit line for this amount that you can use to help further your business. Boom. Now you're able to use that money to reinvest back into your business to raise your capital and pay that loan off or pay that line of credit off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the game that you're able to play once you have an actual business and you can upgrade it to like an S Corp and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Nonprofits have like a totally different structure, because with nonprofits you don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Or like the taxes are like different somehow or another. I don't really know too much about like the nonprofit side, but just having a business and having an LLC, if you use it right, can really help you a lot. Even in taxes, I know you spent at least $2,000 on the Rodecaster and these mics and all the equipment and everything, if not more.
Yeah.
All of that you could write off against whatever you made in profit, to say, okay, if I made $5,000 from doing podcasting, but I spent $3,000 getting equipment, then really my actual profit is $2,000, and that's money that you don't have to pay in taxes.
I have everything written down like on like a sheet of paper. Everything that each individual thing that has cost us this much, rent and everything.
Yeah.
Just in case, like for when I do get it. So like, if you feel comfortable sharing, like what bank do you work at?
So I work for Woodforce National Bank.
Okay.
And I think Woodforce is a great bank for people who are like new to entrepreneurship to start at, just because it's a smaller bank, but it's a retail bank. So it's really more so geared to like, I don't want to say it's geared to small companies, because I don't want to say that necessarily. That's a statement that's not 100% true, but they take chances on smaller businesses more so. You know what I'm saying? So you being 18, just started your business or whatnot, like it's good to build your rapport at like one of these smaller banks or a credit union, really at a bank like Woodforce first, so that way you can kind of establish your business credit and get right before you go to a credit union or a bigger bank. Kind of how it works in a nutshell is that when you enter into these financial institutions, with your credit score, they determine what class they're going to put you in.
Okay.
So there's like a low tier, a mid tier, and a high tier. If you enter in on the low tier without anything established, then it's harder to move from tier to tier. Whereas if you enter in on this middle tier, or if you enter in on the higher tier, then it's easier to kind of like, get credit limit increases and things of that sort. So I think it's good for people to start at a bank like Woodforest just to get their feet wet and get an understanding of how to use their business bank account and how to, use their line of credit properly and make sure you're paying everything on time to establish that rapport. And then when you want to go into a credit union or a bigger bank, you already have established payment history from your LLC, from your business enough to say, okay, so this person isn't new to this. He's true to this. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing it for a while. So now maybe we can give him an account and give him a little bit of a higher limit because we know he's had business credit before and he's been able to maintain it. So yeah.
Is that like, so would you advise me to like go at it a little longer before like maybe I come see you?
No. Get your LLC ASAP.
Is that like, when can I come to you like at your job?
We can set an appointment.
Yeah?
Yeah. Whenever you want to come.
You said you even work today, right?
Yeah, I did work today. I'm off until Wednesday.
Well, we can cut this out, but like, what are you like your hours? Do you work like 9 to 5 or?
Yeah, it's like that's the other good thing about Woodforest. So the hours are like low key insane, but we the bank opens at 10 and it doesn't close until 7 p.m.
Okay.
And then on Saturday, it doesn't close until 6. So like the hours are super flexible and long. So like say you have your business and you're doing a podcast and you need to come and make a deposit before we close at 6. Like the bank is open on Saturdays longer than any other bank is open. So
no, I think after the recording, I'll definitely like set up an appointment because that's what I do need to do ASAP.
Nah, for real.
Like do you know who Troy Hughes is?
Yeah, I know Troy.
I had him on in the episode that I'm posting it tomorrow, but he told me like, that was one thing he was telling me, like, get your LLC, and tell me when you get it. And I went online to, like, one of the websites to get it. I think it was, like, Zen Business, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just, like, yeah, they make it easy for you, but, like, I would feel more comfortable, like, going to somebody like you that knows what they're doing. Maybe you can explain me a little bit.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, those things are good. Like, the online ones, like, they're cool. I don't want to, like, knock them, but they're kind of a finesse. Yeah. You're gonna go on there and pay anywhere from $300 to $500 or $600.
Yeah.
When if you come to the bank and actually get us to set it up for you, it's literally only $100. It's $100 to register your business with the state, and then for the business bank account, the minimum to deposit into it is $25.
Okay.
But if like in order for you to apply for a line of credit, you have to funnel $100 to the business account. Okay. So if you wanted to even take that $100 and put it in the business account and then pay for the state fee to register the business, then boom, now you had $100 funneled through the account and you can be eligible to apply for a credit line for your business. And you only spent like what, $150, $200.
No.
So.
Yeah, we'll definitely set an appointment because I gotta get that.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, what's something you like and dislike about Richmond?
Something that I like about Richmond, I just love Richmond. I love my city, man. Like, I love Richmond. Has great food, great nightlife. Lots of like dope bars and restaurants and like cool things to do. So yeah, I love the vibe of the city, and I just love the network and the infrastructure for music that's being built here. I love that. I hate the mentality sometimes of people here, specifically like I'm not gonna be specific. I'm gonna keep it general. I don't like the what's the word? It's like people are like very separated here. Like there's pockets, there's cliques.
Yeah.
I feel like and I feel like in a lot of aspects too, a lot of people in Richmond have the mentality of like like the city isn't on because this, that, and the third, or people don't want to work together, this, that, and the third. And that's been the narrative here for so long that like it almost perpetuates off of everyone. It's like, and it's sad because there's people like me and people like Jasmine B. Like, I don't even want to start naming people, but there's so many people that are actually putting things together to actually bring people together. Yeah. But the mentality is so much so like people don't want to work together. Like that's all people ever want to focus on because that's all it's ever been. I feel like the faster we get away from that mindset of people being so separatist and like thinking that no one ever wants to work together or no one ever supports and like, and actually people coming together with the mindset of let's build something. Let's actually create an infrastructure, create a market, create what we're seeking for going to these other states and like Atlanta, like LA, like let's actually build that here. Then I feel like the energy will shift and then you'll see more F&F chops and more people breaking through rather than people just complaining about what's not here and what's not being done. You know what I'm saying? There's so much here. There's so much here. I really feel like people are just not willing to put in the work it's going to take to actually make it, you know, be what it needs to be.
You know, not to get political, but like, do you think maybe the casino was one thing that really could have helped bring more opportunity and bring like creators or people together in a way?
I do and I don't.
Okay.
I do and I don't. I definitely was pushing for it to come. I thought that it would have been a great thing for the city to have and definitely increase traction to the city. But I also do see the negatives of it being that people don't really realize, okay, we bring a casino in and now like even everything like property taxes and all that is going to increase just off of the fact of there's more revenue being generated from that, you know what I'm saying? And then like people being worried about like the crime and all that other stuff, which like I do understand and have an understanding for, but at the same time, I feel like that comes with growth anyway. And just like how, you know, when you try something new, there's going to be obstacles that you have to face within that. Like, I feel like that probably just would have been another thing that would have had to gotten figured out. But all in all, I don't think that not coming is like the be all end all for Richmond being able to like create that, you know? As far as like job opportunities and things of that sort too, like I don't see the casino being an opportunity that's going to bring like a whole lot of jobs. Like initially in the construction of it, yes, there's definitely going to be more jobs in construction and like maybe people to run like the everyday like maintenance and stuff like that. But if you're talking about running a casino with like that much money, they're definitely going to outsource those big positions to people from like Nevada or places that have an infrastructure for casinos and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? You can't just handle that amount of money because I know this working in banking. Like, you can't just be anybody and get a job in that type of realm.
Dealing with
you know?
Millions, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, you know, but I definitely do think that could have been something dope for the city. But I think it's the Virgo Libra in me. I'm forced to see both sides of every situation. So just like I see that being like a great thing, I definitely do see where people maybe 10 years down the line would probably be complaining about it too, you know, and not thinking about long-term how that would affect the city for real, and not people in the creative industry, just the city as a whole, you know, but
it's one of those things that's like, I see it like I could compare it to COVID, I guess, maybe in my opinion, like COVID brought a lot of opportunity to people and also like hurt a lot of other people. That's kind of like the same with the casino. It would have helped a lot of people with the opportunity it brought, but it also would have maybe made it worse for other people in a way. Like maybe their gambling addictions would come out. And in a way, I guess gambling addiction does lead to crime.
Yeah.
So I understand what you say to both sides.
Yeah, and even like in the economy, like more people spending their money there is really only like if you think about like things like the lottery and like gambling and stuff like that. When I look at the lottery, I'm like, boom, like clockwork. it starts at a certain point, and they just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until I feel like, this is just my assumption, they can cash out a certain amount of money off of the winner in taxes.
Yeah.
And then it just resets. And like, if you're pushing your money towards that and building that, then you're really not pushing your money to building the community. And like, your money isn't going to, you know, the people that really need it. Which, like I said, it's just both sides. It's each side of the coin. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that it's bad or good. It's just the reality.
Especially with the lotteries, like the last year has been so common to see the billion, and that's not a coincidence.
Not at all. Definitely, I feel like they drive that number.
Yeah. And
it's like, oh, nah, next. Every week it gets higher. It gets higher. Like, okay, cool. So at this point, they're gonna have to pay this much in tax. All right, bet. Let's go.
And from a billion, they get like 450
million.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? That's like 40%.
You know, like one thing I noticed too. And I don't want to get political, right? But more times than not, the winners from California.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's something I saw somebody like talk about. I mean, I don't think stuff like that is a coincidence.
But look back at what I just said about the casino.
Yeah.
You see how the people who are able to afford probably to spend 20, 30 bands buying tickets are the people that are benefiting from that situation.
Yeah.
And the people that are going every day, spending their last to try to hit it, are continuing to go deeper into debt and financial despair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's the type of situation that you kind of, now, unless in that situation, which I know the Virginia Lottery does allocate certain funds to like the public school system and like doing stuff like that, which if that money is really going where they're saying that it's going, then that's good. And that's a way to kind of divert that. But even still, like, something can be put together to where that money can benefit our communities for real.
In that case, like, it's like the saying, the rich always get richer. Yeah. You know, I'm coming down to like the last few like questions and topics, but like, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Like, what do you see, like, you know, maybe producing, your job, your life? You want to have kids?
Yeah. I just want the business to be like thriving on an autopilot. I can't think about anything else until I see 2915 and every umbrella like thriving and growing in, you know, the way that I see it. But yeah, so in 5 years I would be 33. Yeah. I had to think about that. But yeah, so, man, I mean, yeah, like, I just want the business to be doing. I want to really, maybe, hopefully, God willing, not be working at the bank and just being able to like just travel and facilitate these camps and really like be generating revenue off of the things that I'm passionate about and creating more value for people, helping people to you know, facilitate and see their dreams come true, you know. And yeah, that's really what my goal is for real.
You know, what's like the biggest lesson you've learned in your life?
Biggest lesson I learned in my life.
Regardless of like music. Maybe it goes hand in hand, but like just in your whole life.
Biggest lesson I think I've learned is, one, not to judge a book by its cover. And also, everyone is living this life doing the best that they can. And from the perspective of just thinking about how you or I are affected by things, it's very singular in comparison to understanding how your actions play into a situation, or how someone else might not even be thinking with the same brain that you are, because you're two totally different people. So you may even be interpreting actions or interpreting things like completely the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So communication, I feel like, is key, just to be open and willing enough to talk to someone and have a conversation and get an understanding before you jump to a conclusion.
Yeah,
that's a very valuable lesson. And I think, yeah, just learning to communicate, and just not to take offense or not to focus on like the negatives, or to interpret or read too deep about how someone does something, because at the end of the day, regardless of if you mean harm or if you mean good for me or whatever, like, I'll never really fully know what your intentions are, nor do I really give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because like I'm just focused on me and what I'm trying to manifest. If I'm so busy focused on the weird shit someone is doing or why someone is acting a certain way when like I don't know the conditions or whatever they're going through in their life when they make the decisions that they make, then it's like, you know, you spend so much time focusing on the things that aren't going right or the things that and the people that are being weird or being shady that you don't recognize like the blessings and the people that you have around you that are actually genuine. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing, just not reading so deep into shit. And then the last thing is probably just realizing that I can't do everything myself.
Yeah.
Like, so I think we've probably gone back to this a lot during this interview, just about how, like throughout my career, I found myself like just trying to be a jack of all trades. And like, just because I can be that, it doesn't mean I'm meant to be that. And learning how to delegate tasks and trust people, with certain things rather than feeling like I have to like be the one to execute everything or it won't get done right.
Yeah.
Has really helped me like grow, especially in this business and like doing this type of stuff, because like I literally still pull my hair out trying to execute a lot of things, and I actually have like a partner, which like I said, shout out to my girl Vibe, love you babe, but like a right hand that can literally help me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like do things, and I'm still like stressing the fuck out. So I think just being able to thoroughly delegate tasks and to trust people to actually do things rather than to be a control freak and just try to do everything.
Yeah. Less weight on your shoulders too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like lastly, before I ask the last question, is there something that you wanted to bring up that maybe we didn't bring up in the interview?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we had a really good conversation.
Yeah. So lastly, I ask everybody, but like, if you had a chance to give the whole world a message, what would it be?
If I could give the world a message, it would be love yourself. Love yourself, and don't expect anyone to love you more than you love you.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody sees life through your eyes. No one's experienced the things that you've experienced. And even if you find people that are down for you and that love you, you still can't. You still have to be your own biggest fan.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're not guaranteed to have anybody in this life for real. And I'm pretty sure you know, just like I know, people switch and people come and go. You know what I'm saying? But knowing how to be the things that you look for out of everyone else for yourself first, and loving yourself first, is a key for real. So,
well, Mal, I appreciate you so much for coming on.
I appreciate you.
And like I said, it was a pleasure having you on, being our first guest in the new studio.
For sure.
So we definitely had to go big on for like the first guest. So yeah. I appreciate you a lot for coming on.
I appreciate you. Hey, can you give me that bag, bro? Is it over there? Okay. Yeah, nah, I bought you a shirt. All I had was extra larges left.
Oh, that's fine. I appreciate that. Hopefully I don't get bigger than I am now. But this is one of those situations I hope I don't fit into it. I'll wear baggy clothes. But like,
for sure.
Oh, 2915 Entertainment. Oh,
yes, sir.
Fire. I'm going to rock this on the podcast. I always like, when people give me clothes like that, I always like enjoy it because like, I get to wear it. You know?
Facts.
This is fire. I wish I could give you a shirt. I have to get those like in January.
Okay.
Because we had a bunch of shirts and we ran out.
Yeah.
Like right now we're down to like that last shirt. We just use it for the pictures, but
yeah, it's all good.
Like I said, like I wish I could get you one, but like I'll get you one eventually.
Yeah, when you restock, just let me know.
For sure.
For sure.
Well, I appreciate you a lot for coming on. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we out. Later.
Yes, sir. Big faux shit.
Oh, that was good.
That was a great podcast.